Hello everyone, welcome back to the Steele Carreras YouTube channel. This is a great race that I have for you this video. This is the third and final race of the weekend that I had a couple weeks ago at Watkins Glen International for the Formula Race Promotions F1600 Championship Series. Pretty decent weekend so far. We got a podium finish and then a 5th place finish in the second race, and now this is the final race to cap off the weekend. So starting in 5th on the inside, Joe Kawasaki in front, and I believe my teammate is right behind me in 7th. Just waiting for the green flag here for the 2 leaders. And there we have it. Green flag is in the air, race is underway. I'm making an immediate move to the inside to try to get that 3rd place position. We had a really great first gear setup, which helped us out for many of the starts and the restarts throughout the weekend. But anyway, barreling into turn 1, Ayrton Can is your leader, and I believe his brother Gabe Can is right behind me in 3rd. Heading up the S's now, flat out, and as you'll see throughout this race, the slipstream on this back straightaway going into the bus stop is very, very big, and it provides for sort of some intense moments towards the end of the race, which you'll see a little bit later. But using the draft on Ayrton, I'm going to make a move on the outside trying to go into the bus stop, but he's going to defend on the inside, and it's just enough for me to fall back and sneak in right behind him to settle for 2nd place for now. Now, besides that back straightaway, you're not going to see much battling besides this boot section coming up here. This next corner up here is what we call the laces of the boot, and looks like there's going to be a move around the outside, but I'm saved by the full course yellow, and so we'll slow down and I'll regroup before taking the green flag next time by. Looks like that's a 1-car incident in the runoff area off of turn 1, so pretty quick cleanup, and so that means we will be going green this time at the end of lap 3, beginning of lap 4. Now you'll see the team communications that I have on screen there. My dad is actually the one that I'm talking to throughout most of these races, and we usually talk to each other, not much, but I will be including it throughout this video. Warming up the tires, both of us, and now I want you to look at this restart by Ayrton. He's warming up his tires going into this last corner, and then all of a sudden, bam, he decides it's time to go, green flag. What a really smart move by him, because look at the gap that he creates by doing that. Kind of a shame that I fell for the trick a little bit, but I don't think I've really ever seen that before besides in Formula 1 and whatnot, so that's a really smart move. But unfortunately for him, the draft is just so big at this track that it's going to keep all of us together. As you can see, he has about a 5 or 6 car length gap between him and I, but going onto this back straight, that's just how much the slipstream keeps the whole field together, because I'm able to use that draft and get almost up to his gearbox going into the bus stop. I actually have a pretty good run here, so I'm thinking about going for a move on the inside, but just ran out of track room or track length, and have to settle for 2nd place. Heading into the bus stop now behind Ayrton Can still. Just sort of thinking about what other moves I can make besides maybe on the back straightaway, because things get wild, and it's a very inviting space for a lot of other drivers to follow suit. But anyway, trying to make it stick around the outside, and it's just not enough. But I'm still really, really close to him, so I'm thinking about making a move down the inside here, going into the toe section of the boot, and just hugging that white line as much as I can. The understeer was insane, and unfortunately shut the door on him on exit to take the lead on lap 4 of this 9-lap race. So anyway, now it's about defense, but unfortunately he just had a really good run on the inside and was able to take that 1st place position back. Not a big deal. I've heard from a lot of people that it is not good to be in 1st place throughout many of this race until the end of the last lap, just because of how strong this draft is. Anyway, we go up the S's now. I'm still behind Ayrton Can. I get another chance here right behind Ayrton. Look at the draft that I have on him. I'm going to go to the left side of him, and I'm able to clear Ayrton going into the bus stop, except Wesley gets a huge run on the inside. Whole big moment almost spun out there. The curbs tend to really upset the car there in the bus stop, so really no surprise that that happened. But so now lap 6, looks like about another 5 or 6 car length gap between Wesley, but thanks to the draft, I'm able to sort of start reeling him in now. Looks like he's going to stay in the middle of the track, but decides to defend on the inside. And 3 wide moment here. Ayrton goes up the inside, almost goes wheel to wheel with Wesley, and is able to get around me for that second place position. But Wesley is able to hold on for the lead off the last corner now, going towards the first corner, start of lap 7. Ayrton looks to the inside, Wesley staying on the outside, and thinks better of it and sneaks in behind for second place. Thinking about making a move there, but decided to stay in line. Going up the S's again here in third place. Not really sure what to do. Part of me is thinking maybe I should just sort of keep the battling to a minimum and try to stick to the gearbox of the guy in front, but honestly the run that you get from this draft is just so much, and it adds another few miles per hour. But I was thinking about going 3 wide there, but there was just not enough track width, so I'm going to stick with Ayrton here and kind of stay behind him as much as I can. But it allows me to move up a position into second, and so now only one more person to try to get around in these last couple laps. Start of lap 8 here, looking at this run here going into turn 1, thinking about making a late lunge, and there we go, going into turn 1, able to secure that first place spot away. But unfortunately this back straightaway provides for really great racing, and all I can do is just be a sitting duck here on the inside and get absolutely freight trained going into this first corner of the bus stop. See, I went from first to fourth, so that's how much things can change in these types of races. So anyway, pretty unfortunate. Now the clock is ticking because now it's only 2 laps to go. In fourth behind Gabe Can. I'm starting to feel the pressure now. The understeer tends to just be getting worse as these tires get really, really hot towards the end of the race. But anyway, everyone seems to be spread out up there, first through third, but hoping they can maybe close up a little bit as a group so that I can think about making somewhat of a move on the last lap. But white flag is in the air, 1 more lap to go, heading into turn 1. Nobody's making any moves. I make a huge mistake, super wide on the exit of turn 1. And at this point, I'm thinking I'm going to have to salvage and take fourth and just sort of suck it up and think better for next time. But anyway, this draft, like I said, is very, very intense. So look at the run that I get on Gabe Can, and then also his brother Ayrton, 3 wide going into the bus stop on the left side. Heck of a run. I'm looking in my mirror to make sure I'm clear of Wesley on the far inside, and I take that first place position away. Looked like there was maybe an incident behind me, and so the only person to worry about now is Wesley, who's behind me by about 3 or 4 car lengths. And so now it's just about defense and making sure I can keep the car on track. At this point on the track, there was a huge incident behind, but didn't affect Wesley behind me at all. So now he's closed in about 3 car lengths behind me. Heading into this last corner on the final lap, he's actually almost right on my tail now. Exit onto the final straightaway to take the checkered flag. He makes a look, but it doesn't work out in the end, and I take the first place finish for race 3 here at Watkins Glen International. Huge moment. Screaming to my dad. Couldn't be happier. A lot of family members came out, so it was a really good moment for all of us. But anyway, almost a year later from my win at New Jersey, and I get to pull it off at a legendary track like Watkins Glen International. If you're liking this sort of content, be sure to like the video and then subscribe to our YouTube channel, as we'll be posting more videos about this sort of stuff here in the near future. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.